You are your biggest obstacle is one of the hardest truths to accept, but once you do, it changes everything. Most of us like to believe that external factors, lack of resources, unsupportive people, difficult circumstances are what hold us back from achieving our goals. While these can be challenges, they aren't the real problem. The real barrier is internal. It's the self-doubt, the procrastination, the fear of failure, and the endless excuses we create to avoid stepping outside of our comfort zones. Deep down, we are often our own worst enemy. Think about how often you talk yourself out of doing something before you even try. That voice in your head says, "What if I fail? What if people judge me? I'm not ready. I'll do it tomorrow." These thoughts are automatic, but they are not reality. They're just mental roadblocks your mind throws up to protect you from discomfort. The problem is when you let that voice take control, you stay stuck where you are. You stay in the same routine, the same job, the same habits, always dreaming but never doing. You might be waiting for the right time, for more confidence, or for things to somehow get easier, but the truth is, none of that will come unless you take action first. What most people don't realize is that your brain is wired to resist change, even when it's a change you desperately want. It's not that you're lazy or incapable, it's that your brain is designed to keep you safe, to avoid anything that feels uncertain or risky. That's why it's so easy to come up with excuses, to put things off, and to let fear hold you back. But every time you listen to that voice, you reinforce the belief that you can't do it, and the cycle continues. The longer you wait, the harder it becomes to break free from the habits of hesitation and inaction. The moment you recognize that you are the one in control, everything changes. No one is coming to push you. No one is going to hand you your dreams. You have to decide that you are done getting in your own way, and you have to start acting like it. When you realize that the biggest obstacle is the one you're creating, you also realize that you have the power to tear it down. The moment you stop letting your mind control you and start taking control of your actions, you'll see that you were capable all along. Take immediate action is a concept that cuts through the noise of overthinking and hesitation. Most people spend far too much time planning, analyzing, and waiting for the perfect conditions before they move forward on their goals. But here's the truth: over-planning and waiting only keep you stuck. The more time you spend thinking about what you should do, the more likely you are to talk yourself out of doing anything at all. Immediate action is the antidote to this paralysis. It bypasses the endless mental debate and forces you into motion, even if you don't feel ready. When you take immediate action, you create momentum. And that momentum is powerful. The act of doing something, anything, gets your brain engaged in a different way. Instead of letting fear and doubt drive the conversation in your mind, you're now focusing on the next step. Action interrupts the cycle of procrastination and shifts your focus from worrying about the outcome to simply moving forward. And once you're in motion, it becomes easier to stay in motion. You don't need to have everything figured out. You just need to start. The clarity you're seeking comes from doing, not thinking. Immediate action also builds confidence, which in turn fuels more action. Each time you push yourself to act, you send a message to your brain that you're capable, that you're in control. Even small steps can lead to big changes over time, and those small victories begin to stack up. Confidence isn't something you wait for, it's something you build through action. Every time you take a step, no matter how small, you prove to yourself that you can handle the discomfort of uncertainty and fear. And that builds resilience, making it easier to face bigger challenges in the future. The beauty of immediate action is that it doesn't have to be perfect. It's not about making the perfect move, it's about making any move at all. Perfectionism is one of the biggest barriers to progress because it convinces you that you need to have every detail worked out before you can start. But perfectionism is just fear in disguise. When you take immediate action, you break free from that trap. You give yourself permission to learn and improve as you go, rather than waiting for some elusive moment when you feel fully prepared. Obstacles and doubts are inevitable is a reality that every person, no matter how successful or confident, must face. There's a common misconception that people who achieve great things do so because they somehow avoid challenges or never feel uncertain. But the truth is, everyone encounters obstacles and everyone has moments of doubt. The difference between those who succeed and those who give up isn't the absence of struggle, it's how they respond to it. Expecting things to go smoothly or waiting until you're free from doubt is a recipe for inaction. Challenges will arise and self-doubt will creep in. That's just part of the journey. Obstacles come in many forms: external ones like financial setbacks, lack of resources, or unsupportive environments, and internal ones like fear, insecurity, and the inner voice that tells you you're not good enough. These barriers can feel overwhelming, but they are not roadblocks unless you make them so. The key is to understand that facing difficulties doesn't mean you're failing, it means you're growing. Every obstacle is an opportunity to learn something new, to build resilience, and to get stronger. The people who achieve their goals are the ones who persist through the hard parts, not the ones who wait for things to get easier. Doubts, too, are a natural part of the process. No matter how much experience or success you gain, there will always be moments when you question yourself. Am I good enough? Am I doing the right thing? What if I fail? These questions are normal, and in some ways they're necessary. They force you to reflect and adjust, but they should never paralyze you. Doubt only becomes a problem when it stops you from taking action. The mistake many people make is believing that doubt means they shouldn't proceed, that it's a sign they're not ready, or that they're on the wrong path. But doubt is just a feeling, not a fact. It's something you can acknowledge and move through without letting it dictate your decisions. When you understand that obstacles and doubts are inevitable, you stop waiting for the perfect conditions to act. Instead, you learn to push forward despite them. This mindset shift is crucial because it allows you to see challenges not as reasons to quit, but as steps along the path to success. Each time you encounter an obstacle and keep going, each time you feel doubt and act anyway, you build mental toughness. This resilience becomes your greatest asset, helping you navigate future challenges with more confidence. The obstacles and doubts don't disappear, but your ability to handle them improves dramatically. Small actions lead to big results is a principle that's often overlooked in the pursuit of success. Many people believe that achieving their goals requires one giant life-changing moment, but that's not how real progress is made. It's the small, consistent actions that truly make a difference over time. Whether you're trying to improve your health, grow a business, or master a new skill, it's the daily habits, the little things you do regularly that accumulate and lead to significant outcomes. Big achievements are simply the result of countless small steps taken consistently, even when it feels like nothing is happening. One of the reasons small actions are so powerful is because they are manageable. Large goals can feel overwhelming to the point where you don't even know where to start. But when you break those big goals down into smaller, actionable steps, everything becomes more achievable. You're not looking at the entire mountain anymore, you're just focusing on the next step right in front of you. And that's how progress happens step by step, task by task by task, day by day. Over time, those small efforts compound and create momentum, and before you know it, you're much closer to your goal than you ever thought possible. Another key to understanding the power of small actions is recognizing that consistency is more important than intensity. It's not about doing something huge once in a while, it's about doing something small every single day. Think of it like planting seeds. You don't see the results immediately, but with patience and regular care, those seeds eventually grow into something much bigger. The same is true for any goal you're working towards. Small, consistent efforts may not feel exciting in the moment, but they are what set the foundation for big breakthroughs later on. Skipping those small actions, on the other hand, means you're not giving yourself the chance to build that momentum. The beauty of small actions is that they're within your control, even when life gets busy or when motivation is low. You may not always have the time or energy to take massive leaps, but you can always do something small that moves you forward. Whether it's writing for 10 minutes, making one phone call, or practicing a skill for a short period, those small investments in time and effort add up. Over weeks, months, and years, they compound into significant progress. You may not notice the changes immediately, but one day you'll look back and realize just how far you've come, all because you made the choice to keep taking small actions consistently.
You are not your thoughts, you are your actions is a powerful reminder that what you think doesn't define who you are or what you're capable of achieving. Too often, people become prisoners of their own minds, held back by negative, fearful, or self-doubting thoughts. But here's the truth: your thoughts are just mental chatter. They come and go, influenced by emotions, external circumstances, or even subconscious patterns. They can be irrational, misleading, and fleeting. What truly defines you is not what goes on inside your head, but what you do in response to those thoughts. It's your actions, not your internal dialogue, that shape your reality. Think about how many times you've had thoughts like, "I'm not good enough, I can't do this," or "What if I fail?" These thoughts can be paralyzing, convincing you to stay in your comfort zone or avoid taking risks. But those thoughts are just stories you tell yourself, and they don't have to control you. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't isn't that successful people never have doubts or fears, they do. The difference is that they don't let those thoughts stop them from acting. They push through the negative mental noise and take steps toward their goals, regardless of how they feel in the moment. It's easy to confuse your thoughts with reality because they feel so personal and convincing. But the moment you start to understand that you don't have to believe everything you think, you gain freedom. Your mind might tell you all sorts of reasons why you shouldn't do something, but none of that matters if you choose to act anyway. What you do in the face of those thoughts is what really counts. For example, you might think you're not capable of starting a new project or taking on a challenge, but if you take action despite those thoughts, if you start the project, make the call, or take the leap, your actions prove that you're more than what your mind tried to convince you of. Actions have the power to shift not only your circumstances but also your thoughts over time. When you consistently take action, even when your mind is full of doubt or fear, you start to rewire the way you think. Your brain begins to recognize that you're capable, that you can handle challenges, and that your fears are often unfounded. Slowly, your actions reshape your mindset. This is why it's so important to focus on what you do rather than what you think. Your thoughts may waver, but your actions are what drive real change and ultimately define who you become. You said, "Keep going, expend it, and don't add any ending sentence and making it full paragraph." ChatGPT said. ChatGPT. Keep going is a phrase that holds immense power, especially when you're facing moments of difficulty or doubt. It's easy to start something when you're motivated and full of energy, but it's in those moments when everything seems to be going wrong, when you feel tired, discouraged, or uncertain, that the real test begins. The difference between people who succeed and those who don't is not talent or luck, it's persistence. No matter how tough things get, the ability to keep going, to push forward even when the odds seem stacked against you, is what separates those who achieve their goals from those who give up too soon. Life is full of setbacks and unexpected challenges. You might not see progress as quickly as you hoped, or maybe you encounter obstacles that make you question whether it's all worth it. In those moments, it's easy to stop, to convince yourself that it's not going to work out. But what you need to understand is that progress often happens in ways you can't immediately see. Sometimes the biggest breakthroughs come just after the point when you are ready to quit. That's why it's so important to keep going, even when you don't feel like it. You might be one more step, one more attempt, one more push away from the success you've been working toward. The key to persistence is recognizing that the journey to success is not linear. It's not a straight path where every day brings more progress. Sometimes you'll take 2 steps forward and 1 step back. Sometimes you'll feel stuck in place, but that doesn't mean you're not moving forward. Growth often happens in the messy, uncomfortable parts of the process. It's easy to keep going when everything is working in your favor, but true resilience comes when you keep moving forward, even when it feels like nothing is happening. It's in those moments that you build the mental strength and determination to overcome bigger challenges down the road. When you commit to keep going, you're also committing to the idea that failure isn't final. Every setback is an opportunity to learn, to adjust, and to try again. It's not about avoiding failure, it's about using each failure as fuel to keep pushing forward. The people who achieve great things aren't the ones who never fail, they're the ones who refuse to quit when they do. They keep going because they know that every step, no matter how small or difficult, is part of the journey. They trust that persistence will pay off, even if they can't see the results right away.